Hi guys, this is going to be a pick a card for what is happening for the month of August. I know it's a couple of days late, but I wanted to get this out for you guys. So we have pile number 1 and pile number 2. Timestamps will be listed down below in the description box, as well as the decks that are being used today. Feel free to pause the video if you guys need longer to pick. Alright, those of you that chose pile number 1, this is the third eye stone. I don't know if you guys can see it. There we go. Looks like it's starting to focus. So what is happening for my pile number 1 when it comes to the month of August? Okay, you guys, so what is happening for you guys for the month of August? So we have the 8 of Cups, the Star, the 9 of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the King of Cups, the World, the Queen of Wands, the Hermit, the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the 9 of Swords, and then the 8 of Pentacles. So what I'm already kind of getting for you guys, for the month of August, there's going to be something that it's kind of as though I'm going to try and figure out a way to word this and describe it to you guys, because I feel like there's a lot going on. Something in your guys' past, and it feels to me almost as if it's kind of it's linked to some kind of an insecurity that you have. So somewhere in your past, there is something that you maybe replay over in your mind, or there's something that it's almost like that thorn in your side. You're aware that it's there, but perhaps you don't know how to heal it, or you don't know how to fully process it, or you're having a hard time forgiving someone or something that has happened. There's like this big sense of disappointment about the past. But you tied this to something that was going to fulfill you emotionally, something that you think that would have brought you some form of personal happiness or some kind of personal growth. So you were very attached to the outcome of a particular situation. And because it didn't go the way that you were hoping it would, or the thing didn't work out, and it almost kind of felt like it was against your own will, like there's something that you had no choice, or that you had to just put up with it or deal with it because it was over and it was done, and it was as though you had no control over this particular outcome. And I feel like you guys are learning to release this sometime in August. Or at least it's going to be in the process of releasing it during August. And perhaps you're not going to be able to release it until the next month, but it doesn't really feel like that. It feels like something that is already in the making of you learning to release it and process it finally. And I get that for a lot of you guys, it was almost as if it was a broken promise or a broken deal. Something that you felt was, in a way, very unfair, and you questioned this person's morality or the situation. Like, you kind of questioned, like maybe you have a more firmer set of beliefs, and maybe somebody else didn't have the same kind of morals as you. So when someone did something to you, it just really threw you off, It made you question humanity. It made you question your own judgment. It made you question this person. You know, in particular, there was something there that really shook you and made you really question your own beliefs or other people's belief systems. So it feels for you guys for the month of August, you're really going to be processing something from the past that I said is very connected to some kind of a insecurity that you have. And I feel that for a lot of you guys, you're kind of in the process of, it's almost like this month you guys are going to be maturing more emotionally. You're going to have a little bit of a firmer grasp on your emotions. You're going to notice that this month, I feel like it's going to have your ups and downs when it comes to your emotions. So you're going to have maybe like a day or something of just constantly crying or feeling a certain way and not knowing why. And then the next day you're going to feel completely different. So you're going to have those days throughout August that are going to be off to you. But those are helping you really process a lot of the stuff that you're dealing with from the past. And it's helping you kind of reconcile that inside of yourself so where you can learn to move past it and evolve. So there is a sense of maturing this month. I also feel like you're going to be going to a lot of different events or a lot of different things are going to be happening around you. So your world might feel a little bit chaotic or something. It just feels like there are certain things that are not fully in your control this month. And you're learning to let go of that needing to control. Because I feel that for this pile, you guys have gone through, like I said, a lot of disappointments, a lot of sadness, and a lot of different things that have really hurt you. And you're learning to process it fully so that you can accept that part of yourself, so that you can actually, it's almost like you're learning to move forward, but you're going to be experiencing things around you that it feels kind of chaotic, but it in a way, it's almost going in your own favor. Because sometimes we have to realize that just because we think we want something or we need something, we don't see the full picture of everything. So you might notice that in the world, like when you're at work or when you're doing certain things, that there might be like delays or there might be certain things that kind of seem to be always stopping you. And it's because things are slowing down so other things can speed up, or this has to happen before something else can happen. But because we are so limited or we're not paying attention to the full picture, sometimes you might not be aware. So you might see a setback as an inconvenience or as an obstacle, but perhaps it's not either. It's just that's what's supposed to happen for the next piece to fall into place. So it's almost like things around you are kind of whatever you've been wanting or wishing for, or whatever it is that you're trying to let go of, you letting go of this past insecurity, this past mistake, and not holding yourself prisoner to your past is going to help you guys release certain weird emotional attachments that you have. And it's going to allow the universe to do its own job, to do its own magic, so that you can actually get what you've been asking for. So it's almost as if you're giving up something that isn't even tangible anymore at this point. It feels more like an abstract thought, something that's not even tangible. It's just a belief that you're holding on to that's keeping you from what you actually want. And so your world around you is falling apart, or at least it's going to appear a little bit like that. Because I still feel like you guys are going to be kind of grounded still a little bit this month. But like I said, you're going to notice like little weird things are happening or little setbacks. And those are just there to teach you patience, but also to help you put everything back into place, because you need to lose certain things to gain other stuff. You need to let go of certain beliefs, and so little tiny things is going to test you this month to letting go of a belief or to letting go of some kind of an emotional attachment that you've had a really hard time letting go of. But once you do, it's almost as if everything is just going to start making more sense to you. Things are going to fall back more into place. And I do feel this sense that you guys are going to be wanting to isolate yourselves a little bit, especially from family or certain people that you know from the past, because it feels like there are people in your life that maybe you feel like you just want to be alone a little bit. So I do sense that there are going to be a brief period in August that you guys are going to want to kind of isolate, really just focus on yourself. I'm also just kind of getting to that you might just notice that little things are going to come up financially. So just be a little bit cautious, like don't overspend this month. Almost like act like this month, live a little bit below your own means so that you know that you have a little bit of extra, because I'm getting the feeling that, especially with that world card, that something's going to happen where you're either going to need a little bit of extra money, or there's going to be some kind of surprise. It's going to come up, and like I said, it's going to be like some kind of an inconvenience to you. At least it's going to feel like an inconvenience, but in the long run, it would have actually been a lot worse if it didn't, you know what I mean, if it wasn't taken care of now. So there's something in your, almost in your immediate future here that is you're going to have to take some time to deal with, but it's going to help you in the long run than if you didn't do it. So like, there's also going to be this part of you, you're not going to have all the answers, and you're not going to know exactly where your future is going, because I feel like for some of you guys, you're in this kind of contemplating mode, but you're kind of stuck between beliefs or stuck between certain thoughts. So you're really not seeing everything clearly. And it's almost as though you're going to notice that there's going to be kind of some kind of internal battle you're feeling, because it's like you want one thing, but a part of you is acting another way. You know, like there's a part of you that's not aligning with your actions or not aligning with your beliefs. And that's what's kind of being self-corrected this month. So I feel like you guys are actually going to be putting in a lot of work, especially because for a lot of you guys, you have been working a lot lately, or you've been putting in a lot of work. And all of that, it's almost as though you haven't really seen much rewards coming from this, whatever this is that you've been doing. And for a lot of you guys too, I'm just getting that you've noticed that some of the relationships around you have seemed to be getting a little tougher, or you just noticed that, again, it's almost like you prefer your own company right now than over other people. And it's because it just feels like a lot is happening. But it's having to just learn not to overstress or overthink things, because it's like you have a firmer grasp on your life than what you're giving yourself credit for. So you're not realizing everything that is a possibility. And it's interesting too, because with that third eye stone that you guys selected, your third eye, a lot of times it's all about how you perceive certain things and certain outcomes and beliefs. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's really just questioning your belief systems this month and getting yourself grounded in those belief systems. Because there's definitely something in your guys' past that you've been holding on to, but you have like a kindergarten belief placed upon it. You know, like when we don't question our thoughts, like, because I feel like there's something here that you're going to be healing with the inner child, because it's almost as if this belief system that you have been holding on to was something that you've decided when you were a little kid that this was true, but you never questioned it before until now. So that it's like you're letting go of something that the 3-year-old or 5-year-old self decided what its environment was like, you know. And so it's been just you've been living with this very short, narrow-minded perspective on some type of person or some kind of an event that's really stopping you from actually becoming more your authentic self, the more adult version of you. So like I said, I feel like this pile's really maturing this month. And it's like little tiny things are going to be bugging you, and it's only to help you overcome them so that you can actually get out of this little perspective or this little mindset that you've had since as a child. I also am getting to that this is something that might even be tying to some kind of anxiety or some kind of, like, this almost does feel like when you can release this, you're going to start noticing that socializing will even be a little easier for you too. Because I get the feeling that for this pile, maybe you guys do have a tendency of going in and out of isolation. I know I'm very guilty of that myself, but I am sensing that for this pile, like, a lot of you guys are learning to try and get out of that isolating period in time. Maybe you're realizing now where, and this does really feel like an intimate issue. Because when we have intimacy issues, we have a hard time connecting with friends, family, loved ones, lovers, partners, business, different things. It's just people in relationships in general as a whole can really impact that. And I feel like for this pile, you guys are starting to kind of get into more of an understanding of where in your life do you have like certain walls up that are keeping you and preventing you from actually thriving or giving yourself to other people, really becoming more vulnerable. And, vulnerability doesn't always have to be like to share everything. I think for this pile, you're going to learn that just being present a little bit more with people and having a little bit more patience with yourself and others is actually going to take you a very long way when it comes to not only making connections with other people, but you're also going to find better opportunities because you're learning to be a little bit more grounded. Because whatever this thing was in the past that kept you having some insecurities, it really has impacted the way that you communicate with other people or the way that you come off to other people. And so when you are working through these insecurities and you're healing it, you're no longer going to be doing the weird subconscious habits that you do that push other people away or cause other people to have an odd reaction to you. And so now you're going to start realizing that it's going to be easier to make friends. It's going to be easier to actually get more into the flow of things. And I feel for a lot of you guys, when you choose to allow this insecurity of yours to finally break free and just let it go, you're going to start noticing too that your work is going to be improving because you're not going to be so anxious about your work. I think for some of you guys, I'm getting a little bit of that Virgo tendency where maybe some of you guys are very detail oriented, or like I said, you take pride perhaps in your work. But maybe you take a little bit too long on each project, or you take a little, like there's something here where even your productivity is going to start improving because of the relationships you have with other people. Because I feel like you guys are the type of people that are like, oh, I'll just do this myself, or I know how to do it, so I can do it better. And you have a tendency of maybe falling into that line of thinking. But now you're going to realize that other people have resources, other people have other skills that perhaps you yourself haven't honed into yet. And it's going to really help you guys, and it's going to propel you forward in life, in business, and just in relationships in general. And it's all because you're choosing to let go of some form of a disappointment or some kind of belief. And I get the feeling that it's this really strong belief that everyone kind of has ingrained in us, and it's like that we're not enough belief. I feel like for some of you guys, something could have happened to you where you felt some form of rejection or some form of an abandonment that allowed you to feel that you were not enough, or that you were not lovable, or that people will leave you. There's some kind of belief you have, and it's been perpetuating your entire life, and it's been in your reality the whole time because that's all you've been focusing on. That people have shown even in studies and science, like that when people see what they want to see. So when you think about a car you want to buy, all of a sudden you see that same car everywhere. And it's because that's what your brain is focusing on. So you've been focusing on one way or another, something about a past rejection or a past hurt. And then you've just been seeing that in your reality because that's what you focus on. And so that's what's starting to show up. So it's almost as though you deciding and you actually changing that belief is going to actually start to show up a different way. And it's going to be unfamiliar to you. You're going to feel really uncomfortable, and you're going to even maybe want to self-sabotage. But that's the time when you need to be persistent and say, no, I deserve this new reality. Because I feel like you guys are starting to kind of shift something in your external world that is going to reflect back to you. Because I feel like you guys have been putting in a lot of like paying attention to your thoughts, or, you know, I feel like this pile, you guys have tried to do affirmations, or you have some kind of healing modality that you do, that you work on trying to change your belief. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, I don't know if you watch like Abraham Hicks or something, or manifestations, but there's something here that you guys are learning to shift a belief system, and that is going to start really reflecting to you. But right now, while you're changing that, it's as if the world is a little chaotic for you. So you're going to have those couple of days or a couple of months or weeks where you're going to have these fluctuations that is happening. And it's only because it's almost as, you know, healing it, you have your ups and your downs. It's never a solid, consistent line or anything like that. It's never linear. So you guys are always kind of moving and changing with the flow. And I feel like you're learning to be more adaptable instead of so rigid. Because maybe you were so rigid at one point and you were like, no, it has to be this person. I want to marry this person, or I want to do this, or I have to have that. And instead now you're saying, okay, I would like it to be this, but I'm open to other options, and I'm open to better things, because maybe the one thing I think I want, maybe I can even do better than before. So it's almost as if you're just learning to work through that and clear that. And that's really what it feels like. Because it's like you guys are really learning to move past a lot of these issues. And it's like you are going to see that it's almost as though, too, pile number one, you're going to start really noticing people around you, who is for you, who isn't for you, what's happening in your life. So I'm going to pull some cards here. But yeah, it feels like you guys are really shifting something here. It just really does feel like more of a mental thing. And also, it's like you're going to be going and talking to people. So it's almost I almost get the feeling that you should try and go out and socialize. If you are invited to something, go and do it. Just be careful with your finances. Just be careful with certain people. Like, pay attention to how people make you feel this month. Pay attention to what are people saying to you. So it's almost as if this month you're being taught to ground yourself more and to be more present with other people, because other people are going to play a huge role right now in your success and in your progress in moving forward. Because I'm getting here, pile number one, that you're around some people that are jealous, or some people that don't have the best intentions for you, and they're going to stand out more to you. And then you have other people that are going to be more supportive. But also, if you go to certain events, like say for instance, somebody, like a friend, invites you to a party, you might meet somebody at that party that's a perfect match for you, in an actual romantic relationship. Or you're going to meet somebody who has information that can make your job better for you. So there's going to be like networks, or there's going to be certain things that are going to just kind of pop up, and you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't even think that this is ever possible for me. So you do have blessings coming in. You just have to pay attention to the opportunities. And the only way to do that is to be grounded, to be solid, and to know what is happening in your life and around other people. Like, just to be aware of what is going on. And listen to people, because I feel like somebody around you is going to give you an epiphany. And I feel like it's going to be like an unintentional thing. Like they're just going to say something or do something, and all of a sudden it's going to click into your mind and you're going to have an idea, and it's going to help you move yourself forward. So let's see who or what is coming into my pile number one's life for the month of August. This month. Yeah, so for a lot of you guys, a lot of the mindset that you're working through right now is poverty, especially because something with your family here. And I was sensing that, and that's why I was saying just be a little bit cautious on your spending, because for a lot of you guys, I do believe that there is definitely a lack mindset that has been taken from you your whole life, the way that you perceive something or do something. And I think that it is connected and tied to your finances, because a lot of times it's hard to differentiate between our own inherited worth and what we own, right? The materialistic. And so I feel like you've been around family members and people that have had a certain belief about money, or that there's not enough to go around, or, you know, because a lot of times jealousy stems from a lack of, like, kind of like in a poverty mindset is what jealousy really can bring out in people, because they don't understand that if someone else can have it, then they can have it too. You know, just maybe in a different form, in a different way that suits them better. So, you know, when you are in that type of a mindset of poverty, it can really keep depleting your life. And so I feel like that is one thing that is shifting for you guys. See, in that despair, I feel like you guys have had this go hand to hand, feeling like with this despair here, I'm getting to like with that huge disappointment and lack, feeling like you didn't have what you wanted, that you didn't get what you needed. It's like that cat and mouse game that you play with yourself and other people. And it was learned behavior growing up. And it's just learning to get out of that. Yeah, see, your thoughts. What was I saying? Your thoughts. You guys are shifting and changing your thinking patterns about something in your past from poverty, something in your past that led you to feeling some kind of a lack. And I feel like you guys are going to be healing this in the distant horizons. And that's what's been coming up for you guys. Adjudication. So some of you guys have been wrongly accused as well. And a lot of that is going to be corrected. Or I'm also getting to, for some of you guys, now this is not going to be for everybody, but in the month of August, if you guys are dealing with any type of court situation or anything like that, be very cautious, because your thoughts is what is also changing the way that you view a certain situation when it comes to that. So if you get a call and they say, oh, we have a delay, or that we have to push this court date back, or you're going to hear some kind of bad news, but it's actually eventually going to roll in your favor, but it doesn't seem like it at the beginning. So stay positive with whatever this is. So if you get a call and they say, oh, I think we might lose this case, or, oh, this isn't going to turn out well, or, oh, you have to pay a little extra, like something's going to happen there, and just have faith that it's all still going to work out, because there is this point in your life where you are afraid of losing so much money, or you're afraid of losing something, and you're learning to let that go, pile number one. So I feel like that's really what is happening for you guys, and I do get the sense that everything is going to be okay. Also, with the occupation, I do get that sense that you guys are going to be putting in a little bit extra work, maybe even more than usual this month, and that's going to also help you in the long run as well. So it's almost as if this month of August for my pile number ones is going to be kind of like laying down the foundation and making it a little bit more secure for the next upcoming months. So it doesn't really feel or sound very uplifting, but I promise you guys that everything is going in the way that you need it to go. Because for instance, the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing that little things will come up, and I could have just taken it as like, oh no, we're late. This isn't going to work out for us. This isn't going to be good. And then it ended up happening where it ended up being better for us in the long run. Like, oh my gosh, if we would have came earlier, we would have missed this event that they had going at 4:00 when we, you know what I mean? We would have been done by 4 then if we were at the time that we were supposed to be there. So it's like little things like that, where I had delays in my life, but then it ended up being 10 times better for me. And it's only because I let go of the sense of controlling it or the sense of worrying about it, because I'm realizing I can't always control what's happening. And so it's like I'm in a way learning the same stuff that I feel like this pile is, but it's learning that you have to trust yourself and know that things will work out for you. Even if it seems bad, you know, it's like you have to think about it in a term of, it's really not as bad as it sounds. And yeah, see, imprisonment. I feel like you guys have kept yourself in this state with that poverty and imprisonment. It's like your thoughts, this just feels like that. Like you're just constantly perpetuating these thoughts of poverty or these thoughts of lack and whatever this was in the past that you feel like you could never heal, and it felt like it was imprisoning you, and now you're finally learning to get out of that. And it also too is like with that adjudication, I almost get this feeling of judgment in this card too. Like this guy is judging and deciding which is better or whose is correct. And I feel like that's something you've always done, is maybe had that black and white thinking, like who's right, who's wrong. And I think that is a part of it too, because that is also a sign of immaturity if you can only see in black and white, the duality, because only children can see in black and white. This is all or nothing. That's a child's mindset. This is all or nothing mindset. And you're getting out of that. And you're not allowing it's like you're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're starting to be a little bit more objective and really see things for what they are. We also have gift. So I feel like this is going to be a gift for you guys, because I am getting to that. Just pay attention this month, because I feel like other people are going to play a big role in your life this month, you guys. And I feel like gifts, either someone's going to give you a gift, or they're going to give you some kind of word of wisdom, or there's going to be something that's going to happen for you this month, because I'm getting that for a little while with this pile. You guys have just been putting in the work and maybe not seeing much happen, and maybe you just had one thing after another, and it's almost as if a little gift is going to be sprinkled in there in August to kind of give you guys that hope and to kind of show to you guys that you're on the right path, that things are working out for you. Because, you know, we have to have those every once in a while to help us keep going. And I feel like that's what's happening for you guys right now in the month of August, is you're going to receive some kind of gift or some kind of a, and you know, when you see 17, if you break it down, it's an 8. So I feel like you guys are going to be receiving something that is kind of from the divine, something that is like, and it's going to be random too. So it's like, oh, you see $20 on the floor, or you turn around and all of a sudden, like, you see somebody that you haven't seen in a long time and you caught up and it was just amazing. You know, these are like little gifts that the universe gives us, like little tiny things that kind of make a big difference. So it's like, pay attention and be grateful for the little things, because I feel like things are happening for you. And then at the bottom we have change. So I feel like things are changing for you. Things are evolving for you guys. And it's going to really help you guys start to see things in a bigger way, especially with the community card. I feel like a lot of the things that are changing in your guys' life is your community, is the way that you are interacting with people. Because I feel like people are just, like I said, playing a huge role in your guys' life right now. So, any advice for my pile number ones? These two cards, just three cards fell out immediately. We have wisdom, grief, and creation. So I do feel like you guys, you're going to be around people that are going to actually give you guys some kind of form of wisdom, or like you're learning things. And I feel like a renewal is happening in your guys' life. So you guys are creating something, especially because I feel like with a light, that work, you guys are putting in some kind of work. You guys are creating new connections with people. You guys are starting to actually open up. You're going to have more creative ideas. And being around other people are going to give you more creative ideas too, because other people around you are going to almost show you certain things, different beliefs and different ways of thinking and behaving and acting that perhaps you were never really known was a thing. You know, like you're going to be around people that are going to change you in a lot of different ways, and for the better. But I do feel like with that despair and that back of one of the cards, and then now that grief, there's definitely something this month that you guys are in the process of letting go of and grieving. And I think it has to do with that past event, past person, and just insecurities that it left you. And I think you guys are working through that. We see what I said with that impatience. This month, it's really teaching you to become a lot more patient with others and yourself. And I even was saying that. So I feel like you guys were, one of the things you're learning this month is to learn to stop being so impatient that things will come to you when it's time for them to come to you. But you have to have the patience in order for that to happen. Because I do feel like for this pile, a lot of you guys feel like this dissipating. Like a lot of you guys, you felt very complacent. You felt like life is not changing for you. Things are not working out for you. And it's only because there was this sense of displacency, this sense of dissipating. You feel like time is just being wasted, but it's really not. It's just having to learn to have a better grasp in your own life and in yourself. So what can my pile number 1 heal, or what can they work on? What will help them this month in August? Ooh. So we have family and love. And see, this is what I'm saying. It's like something about your guys' community. You guys are going to realize who is for you and who is not for you. So there is going to be a little bit of a issue with certain people. I am going to say that is something that I am seeing for some of you guys. But this is teaching you to have more love for other people and yourself. So for this pile, really what I'm saying is it's like paying attention to the people around you and really reevaluating those relationships, because some people around you are taking from you and draining you and not kind of giving back, while others are that they're perfect for you and they are there for you and supportive. So it's like learning between the two, but also there is this sense of the ones that do take and take and take from you, the ones that are not meant to stay in your life, you can still give them love, but at a distance. You can still appreciate them and give and understand too that people that are hateful or people that are constantly depleting and taking other people's resources, you have to feel kind of bad for them, because they themselves, they do not feel like they are enough or that they have enough. And so you have to understand from that lack mindset. And so it's almost as if sending them love and giving them appreciation, but not needing to necessarily stay with people that are not there for your highest good. So you're learning to let that go and you're learning to process that. Also, remember when I said you guys are starting to mature? I feel like you guys are going to be taking on more responsibilities, but in a way in which you can handle it and is going to actually, it's almost like, you know when they say when you get rich and stuff, it's like you get more problems, or, you know, you hear these types of things, like mindsets, where they're like, oh, if you were rich, you would have more problems. Well, I feel like that might be another belief system that some of you guys need to look at, but I feel like you guys are going to upgrade your problems. You know what I mean? Like, the problems that we're always going to have problems, but to what degree can you handle them? And I feel like you guys are going to be working through and handling your problems to the point where you're going to up-level your life and yourself, and you're going to have up-leveled problems. So it's going to be easier for you to handle a lot of the other things. And I feel like you guys are just maturing more, and you guys understand that sometimes you need to just be a little bit more responsible with yourself and your own resources. So you're learning to kind of develop that self-discipline. And I think that's why that impatience card is there, is it's like you're learning that self-discipline and empowerment and realizing that you are a reliable person. And I also feel like for this pile, you guys are going to start finding people like you that are going to be more reliable, that you can actually trust and start to form a deeper connection to. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's really what is being worked through and healed. But it's like learning to have that compassion for other people and what they're going through, but not allowing them to walk all over you. It's like you can still be kind to others, you can still be loving to others, but not allow them to keep taking from you. So it's like this month, you need to learn to be be a little more selfish in taking care of yourself, because I feel like this pile needs to take better care of themselves. But at the same time, you can still show love and compassion and be a listening ear to others. But if it gets to the point where it's draining you, then to put a boundary there, you know? So you're learning to have better boundaries. You're learning to use your wisdom, because wisdom comes with experience. It comes from learning other people's experiences too. So sometimes you don't always have to learn a lesson. Maybe you can just watch other people make mistakes and learn from them. And that is another form of wisdom. So I feel like you guys are going to be learning a lot from others. You're going to be teaching others. So it's like this month, you're going to be like the teacher and the student. And it's learning to be humble in that, learning that other people do have some other wisdom that they can teach you, and I feel like, too, that you're going to meet certain people that are disciplined, and perhaps they're going to teach you tricks that will help you guys become more disciplined as well. So it's like you're learning to really, like I said, again, with this pile, very much so learning to mature more in your life. And I feel like that's really something that's coming up for you guys. So having that responsibility, learning, trusting yourself, and just also opening up and being more vulnerable in a way where you're allowing, because, you know, these are all heart chakra right here. These are all heart chakras, and I feel like you guys, you're learning to grieve something from the past, and that's going to give you the space to receive more from people. Instead of always giving, because I feel like this pile had a really hard time being very receptive, because maybe you were always learned to be the giver, and now it's like you guys are learning to be a little bit more receptive. And healing from the past and healing the past disappointments is going to help you become way more receptive to everyone else around you, which is not only going to gain you more wisdom, but you're going to start noticing more love from other people and more care from others. And I feel like it's going to really help you guys, especially here when it comes to your tribe or your family. But I'm really getting to with that poverty. You're learning to let go of this. This is no longer keeping you guys imprisoned. So you're really upgrading your guys' thoughts and your thinking behaviors. And I feel like that's really going to really improve your guys' life. So be patient with your guys. Be patient with yourself this month, you guys, because I feel like you are going through a lot. And needing to have that patience for yourself is going to really help you take a long way too. It's really going to help you really evolve and grow, and you're not going to be so upset. So I really feel like that's going to really help you guys move past and see things differently. So yeah, you guys, this is going to be a crazy month for you guys. But again, feel like this is really heavily related around your relationships and your way of viewing relationships. And this is going to help you release a lot. So yes, pile number 1, this is your reading for the month of August. I hope that this resonates for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great and wonderful day. And just remember, always show gratitude, because that always amplifies and multiplies for you guys. So thank you. Bye. All right, those of you that chose pile number 2, this crown chakra stone, see if it can focus. It's like the omnipresence symbol. It's very beautiful. I like it. So this is going to be your guys' reading for the month of August. What is happening for you guys? What is it that you need to know? Just kind of some updates a little bit. What is happening for my pile number 2? For the month of August. Some of you guys, I think, are going to be receiving downloads. So especially when you guys picked the crown chakra. The crown chakra is when you get a lot of the downloads from the divine, and, you know, it's the crown of your head, right? So some of you guys, I do get the sense that you guys are going to be getting some kind of idea or an epiphany or some form of clarity about your guys' life this month. So you're not going to know what to do with this information, is what it feels like, because there's a part of you that has maybe it's going to affect your future moving forward, right? It's going to affect you moving forward in your life. And so you guys are kind of in this process of learning to let certain things go. So with you guys, it's almost as if maybe you guys, this is kind of really difficult because I feel like I'm getting a lot of information. So you guys are going to be getting, it's kind of similar to pile number 1, but it's almost as if it's like it's kind of interesting. It's like it's a different kind of situation, but they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. You guys are going to be going through it's like you guys are going to be dedicating your time to something, and you're going to have to go through the obstacles and release certain things, because I feel like that you self-sabotage yourself a lot. So whatever you've decided that you want to do, and I feel like this is also a thought that you want to kind of ground into the reality of your life. There's something that you want, there's something that you feel like you need, and it's like you're having to learn to let go of certain people, let go of certain beliefs to reach this goal. It's like the universe is going to test you this month and say, okay, pile number 2, how dedicated are you to this goal? Do you actually believe in your own self? Because there's some kind of form of wanting some kind of validation or seeking some kind of motivation outside of self. So it's like you want other people around you to praise you or to work. It's like, you know, and it's nothing like bad, but it's just kind of like, oh, I would like somebody to tell me that this is a good idea. I would like somebody to make me feel like I can go after this goal. You know, it's like you're looking for other people to validate your internal experience, but no one else really can do that for you, because it's this time, it's for you. And no one else can really see the vision that you have. And so you trying to go out to other people and ask their opinion, or you wanting to get some kind of validation. And it's also just learning to, it's almost as though too, a lot of you guys may feel kind of alone or isolated at this time, because when you reach a certain point of success, or when you start to go after your dreams and your goals, there are going to be people around you that are going to have an issue with that. There are going to be people around you that want to stop you from achieving that, not because they're just the worst person in the world, but because either they're afraid that you're going to outshine them, they're afraid of losing you in the long term. There's always some kind of selfish hidden agenda behind why certain people do certain actions or say certain things. And so for this month, it's almost as if you're having to learn to accept that there are people that are not going to agree with everything you're doing. And and some people want to start fights and arguments with you. And it's almost saying, like, this month of August, pile number 2, do not feed into the drama. Do not feed into the drama. Do not give in to other people's, when they throw a fit or when they want something from you. It's like this month, I feel like you guys have some kind of objective or some kind of goal that you want to reach, pile number 2, and you cannot allow other people to influence that. And it's going to be kind of difficult because I do get this sense that you really would love for other people to give back, or to show they care, or to get, like I said, to get kind of like feedback from others. But now is not the time, because I feel like you're in the process of slowly building up whatever this is that you're trying to create, and you don't need other people meddling or interfering with that goal or what you're trying to work on. So some of you guys right now, you have some kind of insecurity or some kind of lack of motivation in your life. And I feel like for the month of August, it's almost like you're learning to try and kind of give back to that part of you. I think that you need to, like, there's something about you that's releasing and letting go of certain things that are kind of like self-sabotaging behaviors, because I feel like this pile has a tendency of choking themselves up and kind of maybe self-sabotaging. So I feel like you are in the process of learning to let go of certain behaviors that you have that maybe is keeping you stuck from actually going after something. Because, like, for instance, with me, it's like I really love to do tarot, but to get me to that point to actually film is really hard for me. But it's because I'm learning to have to motivate myself, right? No one else is going to do it for me. And so that's kind of what I'm sensing with you guys. It's like you enjoy doing certain things, but you have to get yourself to that point of just doing it. Because once you start doing it, you like it. But before you do it, it's like a struggle. It's like that point of you that has that resistance. And I feel like that's what you're learning to overcome this month in August, is you're learning to overcome the resistance that you have to taking certain actions or taking certain steps. And this month, guys, work in silence. Don't tell people your plans. Don't tell people what you're doing. Leave people guessing. Don't post too much, really just kind of give yourself that permission to really ground yourself. Get to know yourself right now. Because the month of August, you guys are going to have, like, really reevaluate your goals. Make sure you know where you're wanting to go. Work really hard on getting what it is that you deserve. And, and I feel like this is something that is really happening, is like, choose yourself this month. Give yourself the love and the appreciation that you deserve. And so it's like really working through that and giving yourself that permission. And I think that that's what you're doing. You're in the process of learning to let that go, so that you're not constantly battling yourself. Because I feel like there's something you want to do, or there's something you need to do that's going to better your future. But again, there is just that little bit of that sabotage there. There's a little bit of that, I don't know, I'm questioning myself. You guys are dealing with a lot of self-doubt this month. Doubting yourself. And whatever this is too, because I feel like this is going to be something that's not like this. This is blocked in the blocked position. So how I see blocked positions, and I do, not every tarot reader does this, but I do. If I see cards that come out like this, I assume that it's because the energy there is kind of stagnant. The energy there is showing that there is some kind of, it can't make quite the decision. So I feel like something about your foundation and something about your own savings and what it's like you're doubting that what you have to offer is enough. You're doubting that what the foundation that you've built isn't strong enough, that it won't last, but it will, because you have put in a lot of work. You have committed and dedicated yourself to certain things. But because you are constantly self-doubting and you're always putting yourself in this negative environment or in a situation that's not serving you, you guys are constantly seeing other people's opinions, and certain things are kind of always coming at you where you start to question yourself and you're like, am I on the right path? What's happening? My life right now is not where I want it to be. So there is this doubt, there is this sense of lack, and it's because you're not trusting yourself. You're not believing in yourself enough, and it's because of this fear that you have about being enough, or that what you have to offer people is not going to measure up in some form. So there is definitely like some kind of insecurity there, and I think that's where it's connecting with pile number one. Is pile number one was going through some form of insecurities about their past, and it's like you're learning to let that go as well. But for you guys, I feel like it might be a little bit of a different lesson. I think it's more to do with your own capabilities. I think that this pile number two, if you chose this pile, I get the feeling that your childhood, maybe anytime you had an idea or anytime you want to do something, somebody would try and come in and squash that desire or tell you that you're wrong or that you're not doing it right or you're not doing enough. So this pile, you always kind of felt like you're falling a little short or a little bit behind, and you worry about that and you ruminate over that. And that's kind of keeping you in this stuck lack environment. I'm sorry, my puppy's streaming right now. And so it's keeping you in that stuck environment. And I feel like that's something that's kind of keeping you really in this mode of, I don't know if I should move forward. I don't know what I should do. So you're questioning yourself, and I do feel like there are lots of things that are presenting themselves to you. So you have multiple options, pile number two, and this might also be another reason why you're super worried or anxious, because maybe you're like, oh, there's a lot of options going on. I don't really know what I should do, what I shouldn't do. Should I move forward with this? Should I not? And so you're constantly doubting yourself, and you're putting yourself in a position where, it's almost as if you're staying stagnant. You're taking some actions, but then you stop yourself, and then you question yourself and you doubt yourself, and then you take weeks off or months off from this thing, and then you kind of get back on again. And so I do notice that there is, like, again, this sense of hesitancy where you're kind of back and forth, on and off. And I think that it's because you're just starting off with something. You're not very familiar with it, and it's worrying you. But the ideas that you have and the actions that you want to take and ground yourself is like a king and a queen status, but you feel like you're starting off as this page, and you're worrying about it. And I feel like you guys psych yourself out because you think about everything you need to do instead of just taking it step by step and day by day. Like, lay out your plan. Write it down, lay it all out. What is it that you have to do? What are the steps you can take to make that a reality? And then work on it. And anytime something comes up, give yourself the permission to learn to overcome it, to learn to see if this is really something you need to actually fix, and keep moving forward. So there's definitely little things here and there that is keeping you from, going where you want to go, because again, there is this sense of like, well, I don't know what I'm really doing. Nobody else around me is really supporting me. Nobody else around me can see my vision or even can give me the tools that I need. So that's kind of another issue too, is people around you or certain things around you, you just don't feel that support, or you just don't feel like they know what to do to help you. And so you're struggling with figuring out how to, whatever this goal is. And for everybody, it's different, This is a general reading, but I am getting that you have some kind of a goal. There's something that you want to work to bring into the physical reality. There's something that you really want to start doing, and it does feel kind of like it's related to money to some degree. There's definitely something here that is going to ground you and stabilize you in the long term. There's something that you want to do that is going to bring you some form of happiness, but you're afraid because there is definitely a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of worrying. There's a lot of what if I'm not enough? And you're just having to learn to let all of that go. And I feel like, again, maybe you feel that you've dropped the ball on something, and that's something too that makes you constantly worry about yourself or makes you overthink things. So I feel like you guys at this point is like beating a dead horse with your own mind, because you're thinking the same thing over and over and over again. And I do get the feeling that you guys have a lot of the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I can't afford rent this month if I do this? Or what if I can't do that or that? And it's like you just keep questioning yourself, doubting yourself, not trusting in the universe. And I do feel like for the month of August, trust and doubt are the biggest things that are coming up for you, because you have to trust that everything is going to work out. And when doubt comes up and when doubt comes through your mind, you need to understand that that is always going to be there, because it's normal to doubt ourselves. You know, everybody has that. But you don't need to feed into it. You don't need to indulge into that belief. So it's like almost learning to break certain patterns you have of thinking. Because I am sensing that you guys are, like I said, very worried that you're behind, that maybe you dropped the ball, that you messed up somehow. And these are all just lies we tell ourselves. So I feel like for the shadowy aspect, it's like, where in yourself are you lying to yourself? Because it's not like it's necessarily intentional. And a lot of the times when we self-sabotage, it's out of love for ourselves, because we want to protect ourselves from being rejected or being hurt again, or so in a way, it's just misguided self-love. But you're needing to learn, like, where are you cutting yourself short? Where are you not getting the full benefits of things because you are so afraid of this lack? You're so afraid of not being enough. You worry that you're not enough, that it's kind of causing you to not really truly give to yourself. And again, I keep getting with other people. There's definitely something here. I do get with this pile. You guys have had a lot of betrayals, or a lot of people who just broke their promises to you. Or every time you've gone after something, you've always seemed to never get what it is that you really wanted. So it's like you keep falling yourself short. And it's just not an easy thing for you. And you worry about yourself all the time because you're afraid of what others are going to think, or how you're going to come off, or what if other people don't like this project that I'm doing. And I think, again, it's something to do with your self-esteem here, because with that Ace of Rods in the reverse there, when you really think about it, it's all about your own self-worth and how you perceive yourself and how you handle certain situations. And when it's in the reverse like this, it really makes me feel like you guys have really disconnected from yourself in a lot of different ways. Because if you see this, you see the tree lines and you see nature, and it makes me think of you guys grounding yourself and knowing who you are and knowing that you can rise above your lower half or your lower self. But I do get this sense that you guys, you doubt yourselves, you doubt your own capabilities. There's a part of you that is almost an apathy. Like you have lost a lack of motivation, you have lost your sense of purpose in life, and it's what we make it. It's what you want to, how you want your life to be. And I think that the issue that this pile has, pile number 2, is I feel like you guys look around and you see other people, and maybe you want to try and, have a similar life to certain people, or you think you need to be a certain way, or that everybody's doing it one way, so you should do it too. But you're learning that your own individuality and it's almost like beating to your own drum. You're learning to accept that what you want, other people might not, and what works for you might not work for others. And so you're having to learn to detach from that need of validation and that need that you're doing things right, and just do what you do. Because nobody else has your own energy. Nobody else looks like you, acts like you, thinks like you, has your own experiences like you. And even if somebody, say, looks like you, like a doppelganger, they've never walked in your shoes. They never had your experience. So you're just like this unique imprint in the world, and you need to learn what is your own signature, what is your own imprint. And the only way to know that is by truly being honest with yourself and really seeing what makes you light up, what makes you happy, and go for that. And ignore other people who have negative opinions or who just isn't right for you, and trust that you know what's right and best for you, and that just because other people, everyone has opinions and everyone has the right to their own opinion. But I do get the sense that you've been around certain people that have been critical of you or just do not see your own opinions. And whatever this is, though, that you want to do, I do see that it impacts your finances or impacts your sense of security. And that is probably what's so jarring to you, is the fear of your own security. But the truth of it is, too, is you have to have faith that you can always figure out where the money's going to come from. What's going to happen. I had a friend that I recently was talking to, and she was saying how when she had her own business, sometimes it was so scary because she didn't know if she was going to be able to pay her rent or if she was going to be able to pay for all of her bills that month. But then, she would always remember that, like, things are going to work out, things are going to be okay. And she always somehow manages to get the money every month that she needs to survive and that she needs for her business. And so it's always just having that sense of trust and faith in yourself and the universe that things will work out, that things are going to be okay, and that opportunities do show up. And especially because for this pile, I'm sensing that you guys have at least 7 opportunities knocking at your door at all times. And you're not even aware of it half of the time because you have these blindfolders on. When you see like horses and stuff and they have those blinders on the sides of their eyes so they don't get distracted by other people and other things, so they can just focus going forward. That's what you guys maybe have because you have such a set, firm, this is what I want, this is what I have to have, that you're almost missing everything else around you. So there's like, lighten up a little bit, pile number 2. Look around, give yourself some time to kind of just see your options, see what's in front of you, because you have more going on for you than you realize, and you have resources that you have around you that you're not even tapping into that could benefit you in the long run. Because, like, for instance, I have a couple of books that I've been procrastinating on, but I know that if I read those books, it's going to help me in the long run, and others even, but I've been procrastinating. So it's like, where in your life are you procrastinating? Where in your life do you have resources, or you have people, books, even seminars? You have different things that are always around you, or you'll hear people talk about certain things that would benefit you, but you are not opening up to that. You're not seeing it as an opportunity. And so that's kind of one of the mindsets I think you guys are going to be shifting in the month of August, is opportunities are like throwing themselves at you, basically trying to get you to pay attention, but all you're doing is saying, oh no, it has to be this way. So it's like learning to be a little more flexible, and not everything has to go X, Y, and Z, like sometimes so for instance, I have to do this, and that before I can get to this. So you may be like, okay, I need to do A, B, C, and D before I can get to E. But then what if, for instance, you can skip A, go straight to C, next thing you know, you're already at E. You know what I mean? So it's like little things are going to come up, and there's some of the things that you think you need to do might not actually be something you need to do. And some of the things that you aren't even aware of that you feel like you don't need is actually something that you need. So it's saying to you to just keep an open mind, to keep an open belief, to not see everything as it has to be one way or another, or that this is the only way I can get successful, because I feel like there's going to be so many different opportunities that just show up at your doorstep, and you're going to have to learn to see that. So let's get some cards here and pull some, just see kind of what's happening for my pile number 2. So who is coming into pile number 2's life? Who, what, where, when, certain events, beliefs, just what's coming up, right? So we have distant horizons and we have great fortune. Yeah, see, things are going to start shifting for you guys, because I also get that this pile, you guys freaking deserve it. All right, can we just stop for a second, acknowledge, like, you guys, I feel like, have gone through so much that I don't even think people around you are aware of. Because some people around you are like, oh, pile number 3, my goodness, there's not even a pile number 3. Pile number 2, they're just privileged, right? They're like a privileged lady. They, but because maybe you have certain resources that other people don't. But, like, you guys have worked. You guys have done the work. You guys have paid your dues. You guys have gone through so much that it's like, it's time that you start reaping some rewards. It's time that you actually start getting the things that you earned. And I feel like for a lot of you guys as well is, with this great fortune, a lot of you are kind of in this moment of really you needing to, like, learn to be a lot more grateful for the things that you do have around you, because I am sensing that that's only going to build your wealth up faster. Because I do see that you guys are kind of like right there, right about to gain a bunch of wealth and prosperity, but you're having to trust yourself. You're having to allow yourself to move forward. So I just get this sense that, like, maybe you're just not going to get the recognition that you want, because there are going to be people around you that are going to be mad that you actually have what you have. And it's not because, like, unfortunately, a lot of people, they just have this lack mentality. But I just feel like you guys are going to start getting, like, unexpected income, and that's going to be one of your great fortunes. You also have occupation, so something about your guys' job. And I do sense that that's what you're so dedicated to, is there's something about your career, there's something about your job. I think some of you guys maybe are, like, entrepreneurs, or you guys are just really working on a side business or something that you want to create in your own life, and things are finally going to start changing for you, you guys. So this is really positive, but there is going to be a lot of frustrations, and there's going to be certain things you need to tweak throughout the month of August. But I just keep getting that you guys are just going to be going through so much, and you guys, like I said, are going to be going through so many changes. And I feel like you guys are going to have somebody here that's going to help you guys in a way. You're going to find people that are going to appreciate the work that you put in, because some people do not understand how hard you're working, you guys. So we have pathway, bad health, and family room. So I don't know if you're dealing with bad health. Oh my goodness, you guys. I've been sick lately, but I don't know if you guys have been dealing with bad health, or you have family members that are sick, but there's something here about your pathway. And I just get the feeling too, you guys, that you shouldn't feel guilty for the amount of money or the amount of things that are coming in your life, because I do feel like you're going to be around people that might make you feel guilty for accumulating a lot of wealth or just changing. And I feel like, again, change. You guys are on this form of change, and I feel like you guys are going to have a higher status. You're working towards something, and it's like you are maturing. You are growing, you are expanding. And I think that a lot of you need to understand that there are going to be people in your life that are just not going to understand that. This almost feels like a continuation of pile number 1. Like pile number 1 being at the beginning stages, and you guys are kind of more reaping so the end stages. But yeah, you're going to be around people, adjudication. You're going to be around people who are going to want to judge you, people who are going to, send you messages or tell you certain things. Like, I do feel like you guys have been around a lot of negative people that want to just tell you. And again, with that thief card, there are some people around you, pile number 2, that you need to put an end to, like relationship wise, because I feel like they're a thief. I feel like they're draining you, and it's just like, you need to put this to an end. Don't accept certain people in your life. Don't allow certain behavior. certain people giving you really bad behavior. Because I just kind of get this sense that you've just been around a lot of judgy people. And some people just do not understand you. Yeah, expectation. I think you guys grew up with a lot of expectation to always thrive. But this is your journey. You know, you get to choose what you want now. You know, I don't think you should focus on other people. I think this is the time that you focus on yourself, because there are going to be some people around you that are going to talk. Pile number 2. Because I feel like you guys, maybe you guys were more like the ones that used to struggle a lot. And some people, they would always say, oh, well, at least I'm doing better than pile number 2, you know? And it's like, some people just never gave you the credit that you deserved. And I think that's another reason why you need to learn to not need that validation. Because I do get the sense that your parents or other people around you always try to put you down. And now it's time for you to learn to take back that power. Because you deserve much better than that. And so I kind of get that sense from this pile that it's almost as if you're moving on up and you're gaining more power in yourself, and you're choosing to have more responsibility in yourself. So it's like you are really allowing yourself this opportunity. And it's like, don't let other people's expectations of you keep you stuck too. Because that's another thing, is we are around certain people and they get used to who the old parts of ourselves, the versions of ourselves that maybe we haven't grown out of. And then when you start to gain more money, or when you start to move on up and you start to level up in your life, some people really want to keep us back in that past self, but you're not that person anymore. So don't, like I said, don't allow other people's expectations to restrict you or to keep you from actually gaining and being more prosperous. So it's like really learning to just not allow others to hold you back, essentially, and keep you from actually letting things go. So it's really trusting in yourself and knowing that you know what's best for you, and set the expectations that you expect yourself to behave moving forward. So if you want to be rich and successful, you need to start developing the expectations of what a rich, successful person would have. And I think that's what you guys are going to learn to do. So for the month of August, you're going to start seeing people's true colors. You're going to start seeing things for what it is. And some people are jealous because of the resources that you have. And some people are like, oh, well, pile number 2, just everything comes so easily to them. And that wasn't true. You worked so hard, and there were so many different things that you did behind the scenes that got you to where you are now. So don't feel guilty for that. Don't feel like you don't deserve that, because I do sense that I have to kind of tell you that, because I get the feeling that you're around certain people that are going to make you feel kind of guilty for that. That are going to try to make you feel like you're a bad person for changing, for evolving, for growing. So, let's see. What does my pile number 2s need? Yeah, see, this experience is going to be very bittersweet for you. You're going to have moments where it's going to be a little difficult because you're leveling up in your life, and certain people are going to not like that. But then at the same time, you're going to have really amazing moments because you are going to be reaping the rewards. And again, I'm just really getting here too that, like, something to do with your occupation, you're either going to get a raise, or your business is finally going to take off, right? Some of you guys have been in isolation because you've been working so hard, because you've been putting in the effort and the work that you've been wanting to do. And I do see it paying off. So even if, say, for instance, you guys are still in that page state where you're still working through some of these obstacles, just know that you are going to have great fortune, that income is going to be coming in, that you are going to be much more stable, and that everything is going to kind of work out for you. But you need to have trust in yourself. Again, work through that self-doubt, because doubt just kind of kills everything, When we start fearing certain things, we start doubting certain things about ourselves, You know, like nobody else can stop you but you, basically. And that's really what I'm getting from you guys, is nobody can stop your progress but yourself. So don't allow other people to get into your mind, because what you guys are doing right now is actually, like I said, going to only get much better for you as time goes on too. So we have here completion, and I'm getting that you've completed a cycle. You're no longer kind of the same person. I do see that you guys have put a rest to certain qualities or certain behaviors that you have, which is, again, one of the reasons why I think you're up leveling in your life, and why you're starting to get unexpected income, and why good things are coming in your life, is because you've earned it, you've put in the work, and you're completing certain cycles. And I am sensing that, like I said, that you might notice that certain people around you, you're gonna, like, they're either gonna fall out of your life, or they're going to be cruel or passive aggressive to you. And it's like you're gonna start noticing that even certain relationships are coming to an end, because you're up leveling people, you're up leveling yourself, your finances, you're kind of just up leveling a lot of different things. And so be prepared for that. Know that change is coming. Know that life right now is going to be uncertain, and it's only because it's changing. So we don't know what the future holds. So just try not to psych yourself out, basically, is all I can really say, because things might be falling apart in your life, but it's actually just coming together. So always know that when you ask the universe for certain things, and then say you ask the universe for what you want, and then you start taking action towards that, do not be surprised when all of a sudden your friend has a fallout with you, or don't be surprised when something ends up happening in your life, because the universe is like, oh, okay, pile number 2, you asked me for this. You're taking the actions that you are trying, so you can try and change it. Your wish is my command, and it's going to start letting go of things so that new things can come in, so that you can upgrade, that you can get better. So we have here expansion, and I just feel like you guys really are expanding your awareness. You're expanding to the possibilities that you have. Again, I feel like you guys have so much more resources than you realize. You guys are going to start realizing that you have so much more at your disposal, that it's going to really expand you. It's really going to make you guys become better people too. You're going to become more generous with others, because you're going to have more to give, you know? So it's almost as though you guys are starting to truly step into your own power and really start to expand in your own life in so many different aspects that I feel like you're not even going to be consciously aware of. So we also got here impatience. So pile number 1 had that too. And it's just learning to be patient, learning what divine timing is. And divine timing is a very hard one for me personally to learn, because I'm the type of person where I'm like, no, I want it now. I need it now. And it's like, it's not happening for me. But I always learn that, you know, I don't see the bigger picture like the universe can, like God can, like other beings can. So I'm very limited in perspective, because I'm in this body and in this mindset. And so it's like you're having to learn that just because it's taking a little bit longer than you would like doesn't mean that it's not coming. You know, it's like when you order food and you're at a restaurant, you're not constantly going like, when's the chef going to be done? You know what I mean? You wait, and you know it's going to come. Even if it takes 5 minutes extra or 10 minutes longer than you expected, it's going to be really good, you know? So it's having to trust yourself, having to trust the universe, and know that things are going to come to you when you not only are ready for it, because you might not be ready for some of the things you're asking for, and you need to learn a little bit more lessons before you can get it. Right? Or else you're going to sabotage it, and then you're going to lose that blessing. So it's like the universe is blessing you right now, but it's being careful on what it's giving you, because it's like, how much can you hold? You know, the container, how much can you hold that energy? So it's like you're learning to have that patience. And so I think you guys had to learn perseverance. You've had to persevere through a lot, and you've had to give up a lot too. You've had to sacrifice a lot to get to where you are now. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you know, you're kind of at this point in August where you're going to be a little bit at an impasse. You're going to feel a little stuck. You're going to feel like something's in your way. The obstacles are in your way. But I feel like that it's almost like an illusion, especially with that trickery here at the bottom. So this impasse might feel a little bit like an illusion to you. So just persevere. Trust yourself, trust that the universe has plans for you, that you're going to be okay, because I am sensing that for a lot of you guys, you've been in a situation with that like impartiality where maybe you just haven't gotten, like you've been around people that the relationships were not equal, people around you were not at your level, and now it's like you're finding people that are going to be at your level. So it's like just to learn to have the patience and the skill set to just say, okay, this is what's happening, and I can move forward from that. So let's have closing cards here. What is it that my pile number 2 needs to learn? What is it that my pile 2 can improve upon? But yeah, you're going to have obstacles this month, but you're going to overcome them, and you just have to get rid of that self-doubt, and trust. Trust is a big one because it's a hard thing to do. It's hard to trust yourself. It's hard to trust other people, especially when you've been around people who've constantly have proven to you that they don't deserve your trust, right? But you needing to learn to trust God or trust the universe, trusting a higher power than yourself is going to really help you learn to not try so hard to control everything, because when we try to control things, obviously it doesn't go the way we want it to. So what can my pile number 2 improve or learn? Wow, see, we also got the self-esteem card. I feel like you guys are needing to learn to build up that self-esteem, especially because that's what I was saying with that. This is all about your self-worth. And I feel like you guys need to learn to give yourself a little bit more love and a little bit more self-love, and learn to be more proud of who you are, proud of what you're becoming. Learn to stand in your confidence, own who you are, don't allow other people to tell you who you are, and communicate that as well. If other people are overstepping their boundaries, have enough self-respect to say, hey, this is not okay for me, this doesn't serve me, and I'm not going to stand for that. And if people are meant to be in your life, they will change to accommodate that, or they won't, and I get that you guys are going to be expanding your mind too, learning. See what I'm saying about that flexibility? You have resources around you that's going to really help you guys. So start looking around and seeing what you have, because I do sense that that's going to help you down the line, is like learning to have these certain resources. But you guys are really learning to expand your mind. You're really learning to give yourself credit where credit is due. And again, with the communication, learn to have self-expression. Learn to tell people what you really want, what you dislike, what you like. It's like this is the time for you guys right now to explore every possibility. Give yourself that chance to just learn to be happy. Learn to figure out what makes you you. Because it's like maybe some of you guys never gave yourself the permission to be, because it's almost like I get the feeling that you've been around people that tried to constrict you or pull you into one type of being. And now it's time for you to just really be who you want to be. You don't need to always be that one friend that's always supportive or always is one way, because you are actually much more than that. So it's really learning to move past that. We also have physical health. So I do sense that there is something about health here. And I think that for the month of August, it's like, don't burn yourself out. Don't overextend yourself to people. Just do what you know you can do in order to, it's like, just don't overburn yourself out. Just don't overdo it. Learn that you know what you need to do, to make yourself happy, to take good care of yourself. So still do the work, still do what you know you have to, but don't overexert yourself too much. Because I feel like for the month of August, you're learning to kind of balance between your work life, your personal life, and your health, and not to compromise either one. So you're having to learn to not compromise with your health, taking better care of yourself. And I am sensing too that with that self-esteem card and your physical health, those two go really hand to hand, because how you feel inside of your body is how it's going to impact your physical health and your self-esteem. So it's almost as if this month you need to learn to ground yourself more in your body and learn to appreciate your body and everything that it does for you, and start taking better care of yourself and taking that type of responsibility, saying, I'm responsible for my self-esteem, my self-worth, and I'm responsible for my vitality and my own health, and learning to work through that. And I think that using your mind to bridge that gap between the two is really going to help you guys as well. So we also have here compassion. So show compassion towards yourself and other people, especially yourself. Be very gentle to yourself, because I get the sense that maybe this pile, you might be a little bit of perfectionists, or people that maybe like nobody can say, like, people can say really terrible things to you, but what you say to yourself is 10 times worse than what anyone could ever do to you or say to you. And I get that that's kind of how you guys can be. So learn to trust yourself, learn to give yourself the love and the permission that you need, because I do get the sense that you guys really need to understand that, you know, there is a time and a place to critique ourselves, but you shouldn't beat yourself up when you make a mistake, because a mistake is just something, you know, we have to make mistakes in order to grow and expand. If we always were perfect all the time, we wouldn't be growing, we wouldn't be expanding. And I do get that sense that with you guys, that is something that you're in the process of doing. So you're really having to learn to expand yourself, to grow with yourself, and to give yourself that compassion, because no one else is, right? No one else can give us the compassion that we need for our own selves. So be really kind to yourself this month of August, because I do sense that you guys are going to have some trials. You guys are unfortunately going to be around some people that are confrontational. You're going to be around certain situations that are going to make you, it's going to question your own worth. You know, don't allow other people to use you as an emotional punching bag. Do not allow other people to treat you a certain way. You are deserving of love and respect, and it's time that you treat yourself that way. And I feel like for the month of August, that is something that is definitely being prominent and you are learning. So, you know, try to just no longer keep yourself in that self-doubt, and trusting yourself and trusting the universe. You know, trusting, you don't have to trust other people, but trust yourself. Learn that you can trust who you spend your time with, who you shouldn't spend your time with. If you get a gut feeling, trust that and follow that. So that's kind of the month. This is the month that you really need to trust yourself and trust your own gut feelings. So we also have here presence, awareness, attention, reality, and connection. So you're needing to learn to become more present with yourself and everyone else around you, because I feel like there are a lot of signs and synchronicities, and you need to be very present and grounded so that you can receive those signs and those synchronicities. And I feel like that is something that is going to also help you in your journey, pile number 2, because I really feel like for the month of August, you guys are going to have a lot of times where you're going to doubt yourself, you're going to question yourself, and this is the time where you need to ground yourself, remember to be present, breathe, and work and deal with it, because that's going to build your self-worth. It's going to, and the more present that you are in your body, the easier it is to hear what your body has to tell you, so your health will improve. Things around you is going to start improving. So start paying attention to your own body and what it's telling you. If it needs a rest, take the time to rest. There's no shame in that, because when you rest, then you can go out and do what you need to do 10 times more than you could have if you just would have kept going and burning yourself out. So really learning to incorporate your health this month, and incorporating your productivity, and learning to not stress out as much and stop worrying about the future. Things are going to come into place. Just focus on what you can in the present, ground yourself, and trust that you have what it takes and that you have all the resources you need, because money, resources, things are going to come into your life. You just need to be grounded and present to receive it. So that's what I have for my pile number 2. I hope that this resonates for you guys and helps you in some way. Thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful day, pile number 2. Bye.